Am I live? I am live. It says I'm live. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. My name is Aya. I am a mom advocate and business coach. What does that really mean? That really means two things. I'm really passionate about momming, parenting children because they really are our future. I mean, honestly, like just take a moment and sit back. And children need to feel loved, protected, and cherished. And in order for children to feel like that, their caretakers have to know what's going on. So I'm really passionate about caring for the caretakers of children. And then, of course, through the path of entrepreneurship, I'm a business coach. So I love coaching people about business. Okay, let's see. Business, business, entrepreneurship, personal brands, and all that other kind of really good, great stuff. So those are my two big passions, and that's what I help people do. I'm a business success generalist. So what does that mean? Like that sounds really fancy. What that means is I'm really good at a lot of different things in business as it pertains to sales, marketing, customer loyalty, retention, monetization, diversifying your income streams, and just how to get those things done. And so that's what I help my clients do. So I help my clients do that, get their businesses where they need they where they want their business to go, where they want their businesses to go. And the way I like to summarize it for people is I can get you to consistent 5-figure months. So that just means 5 figure starts at $10,000 a month all the way to 99,999, and I can get you to a consistency. Yes, business success generalist, that's what I believe, a consistency. Because here's the thing, so because you're going to hear from me, there is not one bullet to a successful business. There's not a magic bullet, or if you do this one thing, your business will be successful, or this is it. It's a few things that you have to do at the same time. And I love saying that to people. There are a few things that you have to do at the same time. And it's really important. You have to do a few things and you have to do them at the same time. That's why business can be a little bit overwhelming. That's why it can be a little bit overwhelming. And it takes a little bit of time to learn how to do it. And it takes a little bit of time to really understand what's going on. And so on and so forth. So that's important. So I help people do those few things at the same time to get their business where they need to go. So I do one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching, I do corporate trainings as well, and I really enjoy doing that. And so if you would like to work with me, if you like my energy, like my tribe, man, just reach out, DM me, or go to my website, time for a session, and we can work together. And I am one of those coaches that are like, so there's lots of coaches where coaches, so there's lots of coaches who don't actually like to coach. I'm kidding. Well, of course, because it's a time thing, right? So when I'm coaching, which I love to coach, you are exchanging time for currency. But I do other things too. I write and I speak and I have other ways that I get currency. So when I coach, coaching for me is really a labor of love. And I believe people need a lot of time and labor. So my coaching program is a little bit different. It's a little bit off the beaten path. And I know why I do it that way. I know why I design it that way, because I think that's the best way for people to get everything they need, right? All right. So if you want to come on to the live, you can. So let me put in here. And then let me copy in here. And I'm gonna put, so I actually came to LinkedIn and I put it in here. So now it's in my LinkedIn. So if you want to come to the live and be a part of the live, you can. See, there I am. There I am. You can come onto the live, and you'll see that there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so so for some reason it's saying my internet connection is not strong, and I don't know why it's saying that. It's saying my internet connection is not strong. So I'm not sure why it's saying that, but let's get started. So today we're talking about how to be a hands-on parent and a hands-on business founder. They'll surprise you. So this is really important because I do have 2 kids. So I like to support moms. Definitely dads too. Dads be blowing up my DMs. So I'm going to do something special for dads coming up here soon. I'm announcing something I'm doing special just for dads. Basically anyone who is a hands-on parent, grandparent, when you're taking care of children hands-on. So I really like to support and service the group of people who are taking care of children 12 and under. So that's because that is a lot. It's a lot to be taking care of your kids and building your business. So being a founder, because it's almost like you have more than one set of kids, because your business is like a kid too. You know, your business is like a kid too. Your business is like a kid too. Like your business is just like my business is just like Grace and Faith. It's like Grace, Faith, the business. And so it's so important to learn how to balance the two, to learn how to be hands-on. And so why do I say hands-on? Hands-on is really important because there are people who outsource their parenting. And what do I mean by that? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So this is not a judgment on anyone. But one of the things that I learned when I really started my entrepreneurship journey, it was very like inhospitable to people who had like big family responsibilities. It was just the conversation never really included like all the things you need to do for your family. And I really didn't like that. And because, I mean, my business is cool, but my family is everything. My business is a tool I use to serve my family so we can eat and all that good stuff. But ultimately, I'm trying to be with my family, you know? So that's why I really service the population that I do, because let's say, okay, this is going to sound controversial. You can get mad at me. It's fine. But a lot of men, so if you have heterosexual relationships, men, women, a lot of, husbands, wives, a lot of husbands, their responsibility is to go and make money and work. And a lot of wives, they are taking care of the children. And so the husbands, their wife is taking care of their children. The wife is taking care, the hands-on, the nitty-gritty. They're not as involved with the hands-on, the nitty-gritty. Someone else is doing that for them. So they might be there on the weekends, but they can give so much of their time and attention to their business. But that's not possible if you don't have that, or vice versa. It doesn't matter the gender. It just matters like, who else is helping you. Or sometimes you hear people, they have their grandparents or someone else is helping them with their kids. But what about the people who you are the one taking care of the kid? That's you. And now you're also trying to build a business so you can use this business to serve your family in order to take care of you. Solomon's in the studio. Let's bring it. Solomon's in the studio. Hey, did you know you were about to be on the
Hey,
studio?
hey, hey.
You're looking over.
Hey, 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 here
So,
I am.
so that's one of the things that I really like to talk about. And you can be in a double parent household. Solomon and I talk about this all the time. You can be in a two-parent household and still, because of your schedules and because of the two things that you and your spouse are doing, still like, what is the word? Feel like you're super hands-on, and you're during the time that you have the kids, you're super hands-on, right? So Solomon has talked to me about that too before. So it's really important. So this topic is really important. So being a hands-on parent and a hands-on business founder. Now, what are some of the characteristics of being a hands-on business founder? You're doing probably everything. You're doing your marketing for your business. And what is marketing? So like, let's just get our terms correct. Marketing is just introducing your business to the audience you want them to know. So you're constantly introducing your business to your audience. You're probably selling, closing deals. You're probably dealing with the actual product or service that you're delivering. You're probably giving it to them. You're probably writing emails. You're probably paying bills. You're probably doing strategic planning. I mean, there's just so much that you're doing, right? And if you're a hands-on parent, what are you doing? Especially if you're a hands-on parent to children under 12. I'm helping my kids. I'm cooking every meal for them. I'm helping them with their clothes. I'm helping them get dressed. I'm physically helping them. I'm taking them to school. I'm picking them up. I'm talking to them. I'm playing with them. I mean, it's a lot of hands-on. And you realize there's a lot of work, but not a lot of you. So what do you have to say?
No, I think that's right on. When you were kind of itemizing the things, I was just thinking, and it's even heavier if you are the only parent. It's even heavier. You are the only parent because now you have to take care of the homework, take care of the you know um,
Homework.
homework
Gosh.
stuff. It's not just the domestic stuff, but the things that they bring home. And I kind of remember when the kids are even younger. Sometimes all these assignments will be brought home, and honestly, some of the assignments I'm like, man, do the teachers expect the kid to do this? This is a homework you're giving the parent. Come on.
I love that. He said, "This is my homework you're giving the parent." I love that. That is so
And so,
true. My daughter's in
yeah.
kindergarten. My firstborn is in kindergarten. This is the second time she's in kindergarten. The first time in California, I live in California. If your kid is born after September 1st, they have to go to a 2-year kindergarten program. So she was born after September 1st. So she has to go to a 2-year kindergarten program. So this is her second year of kindergarten. So the first year is called transitional kindergarten. And the second year, yeah, right, Marion? It's true. It's a lot of work and it's not a lot of you. True. And so it's a 2-year kindergarten program. And so this is our second year. And they send so much homework home. They send so much. I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? So you brought up such a great point. It's like the homework is for the parents, and you already have so much going on. Come on.
Mhm.
So yes, you have so much. So you have to be hands on, and you have to. Um, so the struggle is real. When my kids come home, that's it. They need my attention for a good 2-3 hours. They need me to be looking at them. They want me to look in their face, look at their eyes, hug them, kiss them. I have to prepare dinner. I happen to be a solo parent. So my personal story, I was married and we went through a divorce. And so I actually happen to be a solo parent. And I take care of my girls by myself. And so it's a lot. And I don't have any family around. So it's a lot. So I've gotten kind of used to it, but you do get exhausted. I mean, I've gotten kind of used to it. Then, so I've had to really do some boundary work. So this is what I wanted to really talk about today briefly. I wanted to talk about how to be a hands-on parent and how to be a hands-on founder. And then when I give the tips, Salman, you can kind of give your perspective. The first thing I want to say is you have to have boundaries. Okay. What are boundaries, Solomon? What are boundaries? Educate the people.
Yeah, I know. I think boundaries are excellent. Like, it's boundaries are certain, you setting certain limits that, boundaries, there are limits for yourself and for others. So you set certain limits, or certain, for lack of a better word, um, like a wall or a fence. Let me say a fence, because a wall you don't see through, but a fence you can see through, right? Walls, to me, walls kind of keep people away, but fence says, hey, this is a line you can see through. So, so to me, boundaries are one for yourself and also for others. What does that mean? It means you can say that I will not, maybe, just an example, that after 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, your local time, you will not take any business calls because you want to focus on the children, on the family, right? So that's a boundary you set for yourself. And it's good for yourself and also for your potential customers, or people you're dealing with. Hey, why is it important? It's important because, listen, if you don't set those boundaries and communicate them, then you'll find situations where either you're complaining, you're overwhelmed, and your customers are also complaining because you haven't communicated to them that you won't pick their calls. Like, you haven't set it's a boundary, you haven't communicated it. And I think I heard this somewhere, that a complaint is I have to phrase it well, it's an uncommunicated um, boundary, something like that. If you haven't communicated it, you may be complaining, or they may be communicating. But if you communicated the boundary, then everybody is on the same page, right? So the boundaries are really great. It's not just for your own benefit, but it's also for the benefit of the other person. And in business, it's for your customers and your employees, or whoever you're dealing with
So,
as
but
well.
so boundaries is a very big topic, and I love what Solomon had to say about that. But boundaries. So when I say you need to have boundaries as a founder and as a parent, as a hands-on founder and a hands-on parent. So let's define terms. A hands-on founder is someone that at the point at the point you are in your business, you're doing a lot, right? You're doing a lot, and you may not have a full staff yet, or maybe you have one person, two people. You may not have a network of freelancers yet, or stuff like that. So, you know, if you are a founder and you're adequately staffed, and I shouldn't say all you're doing, but what you're doing is strategy and thinking, and you have time to do that, that's wonderful. So that is wonderful. And you still need support too. I'm not saying you don't. But so the hands-on founders I'm talking about the founders who are writing their content, doing this. I'm talking about the founders who are wearing all these different hats. And the same thing, defining terms with hands-on parenting. And that's why I specifically say parents with kids under 12, because if your kids are 18 and 19, that's different than if your kids are 4 and 6, right? Or if your kids, so hands-on parent, like you're really hands-on. Maybe if you're a parent that you see your children every other weekend, that's not hands-on compared to the parent who is there with them day in and day out. So I
That's
like to
right.
define, because that's really important. Seeing them every other weekend, that's you can put them in your book. But when you wake up with them, go to bed with them, you do everything with them, that's different. So boundaries are so important, and we could talk for hours and hours and hours and hours about boundaries. But I will put a book in here that's really amazing, and it's called Boundaries by Nidra, Boundary, why can I spell, by Nidra Tawab Glover, I think that's her name. And she writes a really great, very simple book about boundaries. What I love about that book is it's very simple. It's very simple, and but it's very profound. The depth is found in its simplicity, and it helps you really break down how to make boundaries for yourself and other people. Okay, so Marianne says, um, I think as a people pleaser, I kind of need to rehearse communicating about boundaries. I suppose boundaries is a fancy word for the no zone, saying no. Wow, that's so powerful. I love that, because Solomon did bring up a really great point about, have you communicated your boundaries? First and foremost, you're going to have boundaries. First and foremost, people really struggle with even having boundaries. Like they just struggle with having boundaries with themselves and with others, and just saying like, I can't do this here. I know I struggle. I know that I sometimes blur the line, and and it's not that it's bad. So I don't want to use the terms good or bad, but the terms I like to use, that it's not effective and it hurts me more than helps me. So let me use those terms. It hurts me more than it helps me. But I think you hit the nail on the head, Miriam, when you said communication, because she talks about that in the book. Also communicating your boundaries up front from the very beginning, because it leads me to my second point in how to balance being a hands-on parent and a hands-on business founder. You need to balance it by understanding you need to find clients that support your family life. Okay? You don't want to you don't want to enter into business relationships and business partnerships with people, or with a culture that doesn't prioritize family. It's not going to work for you. You are going to be very miserable, and you're going to let down that culture, or you're going to let down your family. And for me, it's not an option to let my family down. I only have 2 daughters. Those are my only 2 children. It's not an option for me to let them down, because I want to grow up with them. I want to enjoy them as my daughters. I want to enjoy them as adults. I want to enjoy their children if they have families. Like, it's not an option for me to disappear in their childhood. That doesn't work for me. So it's important that you cultivate relationships, business relationships from the get-go, with people who support family values. I'm telling you. And no, family values is not a code sign for, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying family values. Hey, Naomi. I'm talking about family values. Um, I'm talking about people who understand that you have a life outside of your business. And so I'll give you a very popular example, and I'm only saying this example because it's people talk about it. Elon Musk. So Elon Musk. So I live in Los Angeles, and Elon Musk, one of his companies, SpaceX, is just up the street from my house. Like literally, it's like literally up the street from my house. Like the rocket, SpaceX is up the street from my house. So, and I have a client that does a lot of work with SpaceX. So I just happen to have a lot of interaction with that company, and I know a lot of people who work there. and they work at minimum 12-hour days, at minimum, every day, at minimum. It's a minimum thing. And when they have a deliverable that they have to deliver, they have to work 18. They can't go home. If they have a deliverable, they can't go home. They can't go home. That's what it is. They can't go home. And that is what is expected from their leader, Elon Musk. It is a non-negotiable. And it was interesting to hear it being on the news when around the whole time with Twitter. Because when you talk to the people who are there, they really buy into it until they leave. And when they leave, they'll tell you they'll be crying. They'll tell you all these things. It's so interesting. So when in Twitter, when he was sending those messages like you got to work if you don't want to do it, that's how he really feels. Like Elon, that's the truth of Elon. He believes at minimum you should be there 12 hours a day. At minimum, and you need to be in the office. At minimum. Yeah, he really does. Come on, Naomi. At minimum, he really believes that. Now, that is not a person that I will enter into business with. That is not a person I will enter. I do not want any clients that do not value um, the fact that I have children and I have to be there for them and raise them. And as a business owner, I'm grateful because I get to design the clients and the type of business I want to have. And I want to remind founders, you do too. You do too. You need to prioritize. If you want to be able to successfully be a hands on parent and be a hands on founder, you need to be able to prioritize how your client and the type of people that you decide to enter into business relationships with. You don't have to say yes for everybody. And even that whole thing, like, I got to pay the bills. Do not I said this on another episode. Don't let your bills control your life. You'll be the master of your life. Don't let anything master your life. Okay. Do you hear me? What do you have to say, Solomon?
No, I think that's excellent. One of the things that is coming to mind is there is no one who on their deathbed or closer to the end of life will tell you that they would prioritize business over family, or none of them would say, oh man, I wish I had more time to work on that project or whatever. No, it's nobody ever says that. It's always they wish you had more time to be with family and to to have spent more time with their family and done and built more memories with their own families. That is the end of life when people are actually sitting back and looking at the accomplishment and what their real pride is. It's not the bigness of the project or how much time they spent in business and all that. I've
And
seen a
if it
few
is,
videos. No, go
and if
ahead.
it is, I just have to say, if it is, they're a sociopath or a psychopath. So let's be real,
Yeah.
or a narcissist. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it all the way real in this post right here. Let's keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, because in my life, I'm gonna tell you something personal. In my personal life, I've had a lot of experience with like hardcore narcissists, like hardcore. Like I'm talking about real. I'm not talking about like when people just say, "Oh, that person's a narcissist" because they don't like them. I'm talking about hardcore, like they fit the NPD profile. Hardcore narcissists in my life, with my family, just different scenarios. And one of the things that one of the biggest signs of that is they have no empathy. They don't care about how people feel. They don't care about how they really don't. They don't have a feeling for people. So one of the things about psychopaths don't have a feeling. Like if you research this, they don't have a feeling. And sociopaths, they have a few feelings, but generally don't care about other people's feelings. So there's a difference. And then there's narcissists who just care about themselves. Now it's important because if you are surrounded by people like that, if everyone you know is like that, you will get this sentiment that people don't care. But that's not true. Blessings to you, blessings. That's not true. I don't know who you are. It just says Facebook user, but blessings, blessings. That's not true. And so, man, don't spend your time around people who don't care about other people, because they might say, oh, it's all about the money, or you spend time with people where all they're talking about is about the money, it's about the money, it's about the money. Those are those same people. They might not have the capacity to even care about people. So they really don't care. Or it takes them losing everything for them to realize, wow, wow, I should have put some more time and energy into my family, into relationships with other human beings, because that's what actually matters. So it's really important who you're listening to. It's really important who you surround yourself with. And you have to ask yourself what's important to you. If you being a parent is a privilege. It's a privilege to be a parent. Period. Like to be a parent. I don't care if it was by accident, it might be inconvenient, but it's a privilege to be a parent. And those children, listen, no one looks up to me like my children. No one. The way my two daughters look at me, the way they even just look at me, like the way they just the way they just look at me is like, wow, it's kind of deep. It's like it's true. This deep how they look at me, it's deep. It's like, wow, these girls they really love me. They're like, mommy, mommy. It's like, oh my gosh, it's really deep. You're not gonna find anybody on the planet that looks up to you in that way. Period. So that's a privilege, and you wanna support that. But at the same time, I know we have to make money because we talk about this on the show all the time. We have to make money. We listen, don't believe that hype where it's not about like I have to make money because I have to pay for everything. I have to make money. So you do have to find a balance. You do have to find a balance. And one way to find a balance is to be around people who already value family. So you don't have to be telling people what, yes, come on, Marion. That's right. It's a privilege to be, period. It's a privilege to be a parent. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be a parent. I know so many people don't honor it, and so many people just act like it's not. And I mean, I understand that, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it's a blessing and it's a privilege for you. It changes your life. As a parent, it makes you the better person. It really makes you the better person. Now, the other thing I wanted to say that is really important if you want to be able to manage and juggle that being a hands-on parent and being a hands-on business founder. Listen, you're going to hear me say this all the time. You need help. You need a community. You need support. You need to get comfortable asking for help. You need to get comfortable verbally asking for help. Asking for help in your business, asking for help with your kids, asking for help from your partner, from your friends, from whomever, your neighbor, like, listen, you need to get comfortable with opening your mouth, asking for help, and sewing into a community so you can have a community too. Because you can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself. It's not possible. It's not possible. And all those people who say, I do it by myself. Nobody helped me. That's not true. If you sit down and ask them specific questions, many people help them along the way. Many people have helped me along the way. Many people have helped me along the way. And many more people will help me because listen, help me. Listen, help me. I ask for help. If I need help, I'm like, listen, I need some help. Can you help me? I don't even care. Like, I have no problem asking for help because it's not a game. You need help. What you think, Solomon?
No, it's absolutely. I mean, we all need help. And earlier on, you were saying something which brought something to mind. I heard a pastor talking about that he does a lot of funerals, and he said, "Listen, there was a funeral that he did, and he said he's seen a lot of that, but this one, so." This was a guy who was into his business, into his car collection, into his automobiles and stuff like that. And apparently, he spent a lot of his time doing these things. He didn't care. He didn't really spend time with his family. He didn't build a family connection, right? And he said, so you know how funerals they will let the family say something about you know, and he said none of the family members, none of them, all they could say was, all they could say was, oh, dad was into his cars. He really loved his cars and his business. He really was into his cars and his
Yeah.
business.
Hmm.
That's all they could say
That's all
about
they
their
can say.
dad. His
And that's the
business
thing.
and his
His business and
cars.
his cars. And the thing, that's what's so important for you to understand who you're around. A lot of people are confused who they're around. And I love that you brought that up because who knows? His family may not have really been important to him. He may have
Yeah.
been. I mean, that's the thing. You have to really take people by their actions. You can't. You have to take people by their actions. You can't start acting like you have to take people based on their actions, not based on what they're saying to you. So, and then you have to be clear about what you're telling them. So back to, because we're about to, I'm going to keep it 30 minutes. I just want to be going on and on, but I want to keep the 30 minutes. So I want you guys to remember what we talked about. First of all, you need to ask for help. You need to be comfortable asking for help. You need to have a community of help. And that starts with you just saying, "Hey, I need help." Man, find yourself people in your business partnerships that value family. Don't enter into business relationships or business partnerships where they don't value like family. Like, don't do that. And then secondly, then finally, have boundaries. And we could go into all each of these in a very in depth. Have boundaries. One of the boundaries I'm putting it on here, I need to work on is my phone. Boundary with my phone. And like I need an electronic boundary. I sometimes just let things, because the way I work is more fluid. I'm not really compartmentalized. I'm more fluid. I'm like water. But I've noticed that sometimes I just let everything just kind of get in. So I have to have more boundaries around when I use my electronics, especially when my kids are home. Because my kids, they'll be like, "Mommy, can you put the phone down?" I'll be like, "Oh my God." They'll be like, "Mommy, can you put the phone down? Mommy, can you?" They be hiding my phone. They hide my phone. I'm like, my gosh. But I say this because I want to hold myself accountable. And I say this because I want you to know that I'm working on it too. I want you to know we're working on it together. We're a community. This is a community. When you come on my lives, you interact with my content. It's a community. We're a community of moms and dads, parents who are wanting to raise our kids and be there for them and have businesses that can serve our families by providing for us. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to teach you how to have a business that you don't have to become a slave to, but it will give you a good living. And so that's why I like to say I'm a business success generalist, because it's a few things you have to do. It's not just one thing. Everyone always tell you, "Oh, if you just do this one thing." It's not. It's many things you have to do to get it done. And so I just want you to know we're doing it together. I'm doing it with you. I'm doing it with you. Also, I want to shout out. I have an event. This is a Prayer Social sponsored event. So I am on the board of directors. I'm actually the president of the board of directors of a nonprofit called Prayer Social. It's a social media platform that is designed to help people. It's an app, and also social media platform you can get to it on the website, and you can come and be encouraged. It's an environment of prayer. It's an environment to be encouraged. It's an environment to get your prayers met. It's just an open environment where you can come and pray, ask for prayers, be encouraged. It's a social media platform that's about encouragement, prayer, faith, support, and all that kind of stuff. And so Solomon is the founder of Prayer Social. He's the founder of it. So we have a founder on the stage. Come on, we have a founder.
Yeah.
So he's the founder. So Solomon's also a parent. His kids are a little bit older, but so he understands the juggle of being a founder and being a parent. Anyway, and so his nonprofit is generously supporting, sponsoring an event today on LinkedIn Audio. It's only on LinkedIn Audio. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's an event to provide emotional and mental support for job seekers, career seekers, client seekers, people who are, and it's a limited event for 6 weeks. Today is the first day, and it's going to go for 6 weeks. And it's a limited time event. And excuse me, it's exciting because it's to the idea of the event is to provide support for people in that seeking space around the holidays. We know the holidays is intense because you got to spend money. Everyone needs a gift. You want to do something nice for people, parties. I mean, it's a very festive time, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful time. But can you imagine you don't have any money? Like, can you imagine you don't have, or maybe not even you don't have any money, but you don't know, you're trying to find a job, trying to find clients. So you're kind of holding on to your money. So you need a mental and emotional support. So that event is today, and it's going to be for 6 weeks. So tell your friends, come. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday for 6 weeks. And we want to really carry people through the holidays. carry them through the holidays into the new year with support, emotional and mental support for those in that situation. Per Social was wonderful to sponsor it, and I'm excited we'll be there. So I hope to see you on LinkedIn audio. So just if so, how you find it is you went on LinkedIn, you go to my name or Solomon's name because he is also on the event. So, and then you can join. You can join the event. Okay. So it's been really wonderful to be here today. I go live Monday through Friday, usually between 9 and 9:15 Pacific Standard Time. I like to go live and talk about pertinent business issues. And this is my gift to the world. Like this is my free content is gift to the world. So don't DM me. Think I'm gonna talk to you for free. Don't DM me thinking I'm gonna work. I'm gonna coach you for free. That's why you should come on the live. No, but seriously, that's why I produce a lot of free content to bless people, to be a blessing, and then my business. So when you come to me and you want to get coached, I have time and energy to give to my business, to my clients, and to help them get their business where they want to go and all that kind of good stuff. So thank you. You have any final words, Solomon?
No, I just want to say, thanks for everyone who, first of all, thank you for organizing these events and sharing all the great nuggets with us, and thank you for also hosting the mental health program, the audio event. I think it's going to be excellent. So, either you yourself, if you're somebody who needs that, who is in that space or in that time of your life, I encourage you to join us. If you know somebody who is, please share it with them. This is a free event, and I promise you that it's going to be exciting. It's going to be encouraging. It will build you up. So we look forward to seeing you there, and thank you for joining us today.
Awesome. I love you. Bye, everyone.